Hey y'all, so Mono here. I found this phone or TV while I was stuck down here after getting dropped. She'll be back though, don't worry. So I decided in the meantime, because I had these on me, why not show you some crafts I made? Because why not? And it'll pass the time too, because I don't really know what else to do stuck down here in a chair. I don't know what happened in the room either, so for some reason it now looks like a bedroom, but we're just gonna let that slide. Okay. So, let's start with. So what I'm showing you that I've made while I'm down here is I have these perler bead things. I think they're called. Yeah, they're called those. And what you do is you put them on these type of pegboards, iron them together, and voila, with obviously iron paper on them. You can make them 3D and stuff. Why are these things down here? I have no idea, but I'm not honestly going to complain about it. So, let's get started, shall we? Now that you kind of got the idea on what I'm showing you. But before I show you any perler bead stuff, I'm going to show you one thing that I did end up making that I just made that's not perler beads. So I have Six's music box down here. At the moment, I'm still working on making so that it has sound again, but I ended up remaking it because that might have been the reason she dropped me down here. So yeah, it does, the handle does turn and stuff. I might make a video showing just the sounds in the background just to make it more aesthetic and stuff, but that's just what I wanted to show you for this first part. So, let's get started, shall we? So, I haven't put the book together yet, but this is just the blueprints book. It's called the Little Nightmares Craft Book. I've been working on that so that I can, if I ever lose these, then I know how to make them again. So, let's start with the keychains. So the first one I'm going to show would be my paper bag keychain. As you can see, I don't have my paper bag on me because I kind of purposely took it off and left it behind. So I made a keychain of it, just to have a memory of it. And sometimes I put my keys on here too if I ever find any, because those could probably be useful. Next up, we have Six's lighter. She ended up giving me this. She's on her way back at the moment. She told me that she was going somewhere called the Moth through the phone. So she'll be back, maybe. So that's Six's lighter, which I do want to say one thing before putting this down. If you want to make, there's two different ways that I know that you can make these 3D. One is using hot glue the way I do. Originally this was supposed to open and close, but it got jammed with hot glue. So the keychain also kind of broke, but I can easily fix that by just putting the loop back on it. So that's how that turned out. This turned out really well. I can even hold it very nicely. So not that would be a surprise. I even found this flashlight down here that belonged to RK. I do know who these people are, by the way, so don't ask how, I just know. I'm friends with them. So I kind of have his flashlight for some reason. Or is this the one that... No, this is RK's flashlight. I would say that I have two of these. One's mine and one's RK's. RK Runaway Kid let me borrow his for a moment because mine wasn't working for some reason. So he has a keychain on it. He normally keeps it with him a lot. As you can see, the flashlight kind of got fried though from the hot glue, so he's gonna be pretty mad at me when he finds out that I broke it. But I can easily fix it. In reality, what I'm actually just going to do is just put some beads that are like yellow and clearish so that it just looks like there's a glow in it again because the bulb popped on it. So that's just what that's going to be. Don't tell him I broke this unless he sees the video because he'll be pretty mad at me for it. Sorry, RK. So that's that one. Now for the next keychain, this one was me and Six holding hands. But the problem with this one, though, is that it did end up breaking, and I don't know where the 6 keychain went. Canada Event, I see. So, yeah, I'm looking at you in there, 6. So, it did end up happening, and as you can see, that's what it's supposed to look like. One thing you should definitely know when doing those is, making perler beads, is that if you end up hot gluing like I did trying to put their hands together, because always make sure that you have it sometimes the beads don't like going together, so make sure you have it exactly how you want it before hot gluing it, because if you try using the iron on it again without taking every single piece of the hot glue off of it, it will not work. I found out the hard way, so just don't do what I did. Okay, but I'm very happy with how it's turned out. I have this on my pockets a lot, and yeah. So that's how that turned out. So those are the keychains, and as you can see, what I like to do is just write what it is up there so I know what it is. On the back, it also says made by me, so that if I ever lose it, I can hopefully find it again. I mean, it would probably get drenched, but because it's wet in the Pale City, raining all the time, but it'll be fine. So that's the beginning of that. Now let me move on. Oh wait, and also here is the music box. I'm not showing you the back side because I made another one that was skinnier for 6 again because she has like very little room in her pockets. I don't even know if she can fit it in her pockets, but she can put it in her room and stuff, so you're welcome, 6. Next step, anyway. I'm not actually too mad about it. I mean, I am, but you get the point. Oh, I'll forgive her probably. Hopefully. So, next step is that we have me and 6 ourselves. This one is pretty much this, but better. This one is not my design, though. I found this one on Actual Line. I don't know what the website's called, but you could probably find it pretty easily. And some of the colors are different, but that's pretty much the same thing of what I saw online. So I'm not taking credit for myself. All the other ones, though, I did make on my own. They just have the same, like, height, at least, and maybe, like, the foot design. That's it. So that's where I got the starting idea of this. Next up would be RK, aka the person that I took the flashlight from, or borrowed it from. RK, I decided to make him holding his flashlight, and I even gave him a little gnome. I even added the chain on his foot just for detail-wise, because he has that. I would have made it look as if it's dragging, but I didn't really have the bead space for that, so he turned out pretty well. I think the back, as you can see, is pretty smooth because that's where you ironed it. And here it is on there. I decided to make his title blue and gray. Or, sorry, brown, not gray, to match. So that turned out pretty well, I think. This was actually the first one that I actually had kind of a hard time making because if you're making these off of memory, then you kind of want to get a good idea on what you're making. But as time went on, I got faster with these and it turned out 10 times better. So I think we're all right with that, you know? So, now next up, I'm going to put them over there so I have more room. Okay, stay. So, next up, I would have to say, I feel like it would make pretty good sense doing Raincoat Girl next, or RG. She is pretty much the exact same style as this one, just facing the other way and having the hair. But, I mean, it's the same raincoat, so I thought it would have been fitting, so I thought it worked out pretty well. So thank you to whoever made the design of 6. You helped, and Mono, that one. You helped me out a lot with this, so I want to make sure you get the credit for it. So thank you. And yeah, that's her thing for this. Next up is Alone, which hers honestly was pretty easy to make. I kind of wish one thing though when making this, and that would be that with her wrench, that I made it go more straight, because as you can see, it kind of curves here, and it kind of doesn't really go as much well, but I think it's fine regardless, so I'm going to say it's okay. I mean, as you can see, she still turned out pretty great. The zipper's not in line, but that's because I physically couldn't do it without keeping the same design of her, I don't know what her suit's called, or her clothes are called, but you get the point. She turned out pretty well, honestly. I'm very happy with how she came out, so I think you guys can all take a pretty good bet on who's next, and that's Lo. Where's this paper? Well, so originally the thing about Lo is that I was texting people on this phone, and it ended up falling when I was making a illustration and he broke. But it was a little bit of a different design with the cape and a bit of the shoulders, but he still turned out pretty well. He even has the little bracelet thing on his foot. I'm really happy with how the mask came out because I thought it was going to look really weird because it's kind of hard doing those type of things. But you can tell exactly who he is, honestly, and I'm very happy about that. So, now, next one, this kind of goes into more of comic-wise, I'm pretty sure, and this is Ghost Kid. His I kind of just made pretty simple. It's a bit more off of RG's design, but still different. Now, this one is important because something to know about making these ones is that if you want to make, so he has only his left hand, correct? So if you, there's two ways you can have it. You could have the flat side or the power bead side more. I like the bead side more because I just think it looks better, but it doesn't matter to me which one you guys like better. And I have to make the hand on the opposite side just so that it matches with it. Because if I did it on this side, then it would be on the wrong one. I also wish I made the eyes like another black bead bigger, because his sockets in the sheet is kind of bigger. So I kind of wish I did that, but it's too late. I mean, I could probably fix it if I really wanted to, but I don't really feel like it. So that's him. Now, next up would be, obviously, we got Spoon Girl, who, her design I thought turned out really cute and adorable, as you can see, because with the braids, I even gave her the freckles and all that. I obviously have to do the blood in the nightgown, but that's fine. Something to notice about this is that you do see that there's only one bead, but that's because it broke off. Something to know about when making perler beads is that if you make them diagonal like this, then there's a good chance that you're going to have to hold the iron down for a long time or just hot glue it, because it will break off most likely. So that's what happened here. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere down here, the other bead, but that's Spoon Girl for you. And one other thing to know about Spoon Girl is, even though it's, yes, the braided girl, I did make her a spoon. I'll probably make a better one because this one kind of looks weird, but I'm very happy about that, because this was actually from my tea set that I never really use, because you should not drink out of these things. So, yeah, that's that for you. Now, next up would be Lollipop Kid. Or in this case, yeah, just Lollipop Kid. So, what I ended up doing, which I kind of wish I fixed more, I'm very happy with how the tears came out, but I wish with the lollipop that I would have made it more of a roundish, because as you can see, it kind of looks weird. But you still get the concept of who he's supposed to be, and I'm really happy with the overalls, how they came out, because he even does have, the little buttons on him. So, I feel like he turned out really well, and I'm very happy about it. Again, it gets easier and easier as you work on these, because then your mind has kind of an idea on what you're doing. And FYI, all of these guys are around the same height. One might be one less bigger than the other, but I don't have a problem with it. Now, this one, since I had to do it just to go up with the set, was I did make the toddler. He turned out really well. I feel like the bag was a bit too high, because as you can see, I had to make a little cross there so it didn't blend in with his hair, because it's the same brown on the stick, since it was kind of the same. But I still think he turned out pretty well. You can tell normally exactly who he is. I'm very happy with how the feather turned out too. So there's him for you, and it was the same concept of what you had to do with Ghost Kid. You had to make it on the opposite side. I think I didn't do that, but I think it's fine regardless. It doesn't matter. So, because it's a bag, he can move it. So now, that's all that I had for the kid-wise, which they're now all right here now. So you can't really see them because it's out of view, but you get the point. So now, though, we have my biggest one that I made. So I asked my Discord who I should make next, and they gave me two really good ones. This one is the Hunter, which, as you can see, he is clearly way too big to fit in the actual camera. He was honestly, it did take a while to make him, but not as long as I thought it would have been. As you can see, I'm kind of annoyed with how I keep calling it an eye because that's what it looks like. It kind of makes him look like a cyclops in a way, but you guys get the idea of how it went. I'm really happy with how the suit came out, and especially the lantern and the gun. It was the hardest part, honestly, about him besides the eye was making the bow, because it's hard to see it, but there's three darker brown beads. He took a lot of green ones, and brown, so I'm gonna have to get more of those in order to make the janitor and the teacher and stuff. So, yeah. But the other thing to note is that he obviously he's way too big to even fit on the paper. So I just drew a doodle of him and then just colored in the spaces so I would know what I needed to make if I were ever to make him again. I probably won't, but if I ever do, because maybe I'll sell these. Who knows? Well, not these ones, but you get the point. Which also, one other thing actually I want to show is that something that I find extremely fitting about it is that he is clearly a lot bigger, which I feel like this is very suiting for actual Little Nightmares, because as you know, the monsters are 10 times bigger than these guys. Well, maybe not 10, but a lot bigger than me. So I feel like that was really fitting with it, especially, actually, let me also just because for funsies. That was just for funsies. I knew this was too small for that. So that's the hunter. We have 2 more. That one of them, honestly, so this next one that the Discord also told me to do was the North Wind, which as you can see on here, it turned out pretty well. But the thing that's hard about doing this on Pro beads is that it's kind of hard to make them if they're spaced out. It's kind of hard. I had to do some hot glue on the paper. It's kind of hard to make them. You can still see the idea of it in a way, like that's the head and all that, but I'm not very I wasn't too happy seeing how it came out, but now I'm okay with it because I'm not. It turned out better than now that I see it again. That I'm actually quite pleased with it. So, yeah. Now the last one that I made, which again, this one I'm very happy with how it came out, would be the Pretender. Which, as you can see, she was also just a little bit too big, but I was able to get her fit anyway. And let's also just compare her to RG, which she is definitely way smaller than the Hunter, but it's a Very Little Nightmares, so I think that was probably canon anyway, maybe. Or just, it's Very Little Nightmares. She's supposed to be smaller than all of them. And just because, why not? Let's just do this. Just because technically 6 was also in there, so let's just do that. There we go. Perfect. Even though I blocked myself up, it's fine. Perfect. So those are all of the beads that I made that I wanted to show you. Another thing that I do want to say which this is still a little bit out of character, so on Minecraft Bedrock, we have, me and Six have been making a Little Nightmares server. So we've made a Little Nightmares 2, or we're trying to recreate it in Minecraft. We only have the school and the Hunter's house done, which we're still making the pathways in order to get there. And when you get outside the Hunter's house, we're still working on that part. So what we're looking for, because we can't do mods, we're looking for people who might want to play the roles of the monsters, so like the teacher and stuff, which I might be able to give you that role if you really want it, because we don't have anybody yet on. Mono and Six, however, are taken, but we could do a gnome, because that's in the beginning one, even the glitch kids. So anybody that you would want to be, well, I'm perfectly fine with doing that, which also, even if you want to just help us build the place, that would also be really appreciated, because there's only 2 of us, so it's kind of hard making all the details and stuff, but it's been turning out pretty well, I think. Me and Six have been working hard on it, and that's that. Which, again, also another thing, if you want us to make, like, Little Nightmares 1, Very Little Nightmares, or just, like, any of them in decency, like, even different horror games. We're staying more in the horror, but we'll see depending on what you recommend in the comments. Like, Little Misfortune, those type of things. We'll be happy to make those, even though the mob might literally be a nightmare to make just because of how much detail there is. But I will make it entirely for you guys if we get enough, like, subscribers and likes on the video. So if that's something that's interested to you on just joining or support of watching them, we would highly appreciate it, because it takes a lot of work to make these things. I literally feel like Teaser Studios in a way, but they definitely have it 10 times harder. Teaser Studios, you guys are amazing. I hope you know that. There's any characters that you want me to make out of these? Like, I'm working on making more of the monsters right now, but I kind of don't want to do as much of the comic ones yet, only because I want to stay with the ones in the game just so I get those ones out of the way because I'm more familiar with them. The comics I've known of, and I've read a couple of them, but I haven't really had enough time to read all of them. So, like, example, the Balloon Man, or the Balloon-Headed Man. I want to be able to make him, but at the same time, though, there's been photos of him, but they can be really detailed, so I'm holding off of the comic ones. But if you want me to really badly make a comic character, then I will 100% will. But at the moment, I know Six wants me to make the janitor really bad for some reason. I don't know why, but she just wants me to. I think it's her favorite. So I'll definitely be probably making him as soon as I get the beads for it, because as you could probably tell from the Hunter, he's taking a lot of beads, which you can kind of see back there, but the tower things by the mirror are some of the beads that I have. So that's kind of mostly what I have to say. If there's any recommendations on what you want me to make in Minecraft, or me and Six in Minecraft, or just in general, that's it. But in the meantime, I'm just going to be waiting down here until, in this chair, until I either find a way to get out, or Six comes out and helps me. So this is Mono here, and I'll be signing out. So, bye!